In this video, we are going to learn about BigQuery architecture along with that hierarchy of project. Okay, this is a BigQuery architecture, and then we are going to learn this hierarchy in the BigQuery also. Okay, now when come to the BigQuery architecture, in this BigQuery architecture, we have the few components, and those are this is one component, this is one component, there is also one more component. Yeah, this has a one more component. Now we will see what these components are going to do. In this BigQuery, we have the distributed storage. In this distributed storage, everyone knows that the data is going to be stored. Okay, it is going to stored in the distributed storage. For example, let us take Google distributed file system, whereas we have that Colossus. We have okay, we have the Colossus. For example, let us spelling LOSSUS, which is nothing but Google distributed file system. In this, the data is going to be stored. Okay. Now, here, as I told you that the data is going to be stored in the distributed storage, everything is fine. Now, to fetch this data, okay, to fetch that data, we are going to write a query, right? If I want to get the data from here, directly I cannot get it, right? Through the query only I can get the data, right? We can fetch the data, right? Yes. Now, what I'm going to do is, whatever MySQL query I have written in the BigQuery, that query is sent to highly scalable component. Okay, after sending it to the highly scalable component, what is happening in this component is here we have some virtual CPUs that we are going to call it as slots. We are going to call it as slots. Here we have multiple slots we have. It means multiple virtual CPUs we have. Now, what we are doing here is whenever you passed any query to this highly scalable component, that time what is happening is the query is sent to this component. Here, the query is going to be divided into smaller parts and assigned to each of the slots. Like this, it is going to assign. I'll tell you in detail how we are going to assign also. Okay. Now, what is happening is here we are doing the parallel processing. We are doing the parallel processing. Why we are going with the parallel processing is why this BigQuery is going with the parallel processing is the computation will be very fast if you go with the parallel processing. Okay, in this component, what is happening? One small slots are going to be there. That's each slot is going to take one task and it is going to perform one task, and finally all the results will be measured and it is going to give the final result. I'll tell you the real example also, the finally. Okay, now we have seen this component and we have seen this component also. And what about the next component is the middle one, which is distributed memory shuffle type. This can call it as a buffer area. So this memory shuffle is nothing but it is a temporary space where it is going to help with you the process the intermediate results. Okay, where you can do the intermediate results. Okay, you can process the intermediate results in this buffer area. So the final component is petabyte network. What is meant by petabyte network is the petabyte network is a very high speed network where it is going to connect your storage and your memory. Okay, sorry, storage, memory, and the compute. For what purpose is to ensure the fast and the low latency data transfer for scalability and performance. Okay. Now, in detail, whatever I have explained you that I have mentioned here, you can take a screenshot how the architecture is going to work. As I told you, data is going to be stored in the Colossus distributed file system for durability and availability also. And the another component which is a compute what is happening here? Here the virtual CPUs will be there. It is nothing but the slots where it is going to break. What it is going to break? It is going to break down the query into parallel task, and then it is going to send it to the processing. Okay. Now this is the buffer space. I've told you this is a petabyte network also I've showed you. So you can please take the screenshots. One, I'll erase everything. Yeah, you can take the screenshot now. Yes. Now, if we come to the slot, a slot in the BigQuery, we can simply call it as a unit of computation capacity. For what purpose is it is used to process your queries. Okay, so as I told you, the each slot is going to represent what is some portion of the CPU and the memory which is needed to run a part of your query. Okay, yes. Now, how this slot is going to be worked is the first one is the query execution. You have to understand how it is going to work. The query execution is when you run any query in the BigQuery compute engine is going to break down that query into the small tasks like stages. Okay, the next one is after doing the breakdown of this query into smaller chunks or the smaller tasks, each part is going to given for the each part is given for this one slot and another slot like this. Each part will be given to different slots, and it is going to do the parallel processing, and finally we are merging the result. Okay. Now the slot assignment as I have written here, these tasks are assigned, uh, then assigned to the slots which they are computationally resources that process the data. It is going to process the data, right? Okay. As I told you, the parallel processing also will be done across multiple slots. Okay. Now, if you take one simple example, let us take we have requirement like get some data about the month of sales. Okay, let us take. I've asked you the month highest sales of the uh, product category. I've asked you. Now, what you are going to do? Now, what we can do is we are writing the query, right? What is meant by product category here? Clothing is one of the category, electronic is one of the category, and the grocery belongs to the one of the category. You know, which category got a highest sales like that. I've asked you something, any requirement. That time, what we are going to do? That time we are going to write a one query, right, to fetch that product category. That time, what is happening is here I have mentioned that only very clearly. What is happening in that time is when you written the big query there to fetch the data from the storage. What is happening is first the query will be divided by the uh, Google, sorry, BigQuery compute engine. The BigQuery compute engine is going to break down that entire BigQuery into the smaller parts. It means one part is nothing but it is going to fetch the data related to the clothing, and the one other part is going to fetch the related to the electronics, and one more part it is going to related to the groceries. Like that, each slot is going to work for one small task. So at finally, what is going to happen? All the results were came. The clothing got this much of sales, and the grocery got this much of sales. Like that, we got some rough idea. It means the compute got the rough idea. Then what it is going to do is finally it is going to match all the final results, and it is going to display you in the output. So that is what happening there. The each slot is going to work on some single task. Then we are going to finally compute. It means finally we will combine all the results together, and we are going to get the result very quickly instead of going with the other systems. Okay, that was I have told you here. The results in the faster response time we will get. So many slots are going to work at the same time. So we are going to get the result very fast. So the performance also going to be increase. Why? Because there is a columnar, right? So the fetching also will be very easy. Okay. Now up to now we have seen the BigQuery architecture. The next we will see means the continuation we will see the hierarchy in the BigQuery. Okay, now whatever we are creating the BigQuery, there will be a one hierarchy that we need to understand. Okay, first what you have to observe is in the BigQuery, I'll show you now. In the BigQuery, how the hierarchy is going to be is first the hierarchy will be the project. In the first video, I have shown you right how to create the project, and in the project itself, in the project we are going to do multiple things, right? So first, the first we need to keep our project in that project. we have to create one data set. It means one or many data sets we can create. Inside the data set, we need to create the tables. Inside the tables, what we are having, that is nothing but a schema, which is nothing but a columns and data types. Okay, this is the hierarchy that you have to follow. First, the hierarchy will be the project. The next hierarchy will be the data set. The next one will be the tables. Then finally we have the schemas. In the interview, they'll ask that what will be the hierarchy in the BigQuery. That time we can tell that the first will be the project, followed by the data set, and inside the data sets we can create a tables. And in the tables we can create a multiple columns with the respective to data types. Like that we can tell it. Okay, the next slide I'll show you the theoretical part. Then you can take the screenshot.
Now we are going to see the data types in the BigQuery. So there will be not much difference in the BigQuery comparing to the MySQL, but small changes will be there in the BigQuery and comparing to the MySQL. So that you have to remember. Here you can see that string is there, as a, where in that MySQL we have the text, right, but here we have the string. Like that, a small changes will be there. There will be no any double int like that. So int 64 is there. Like this small difference will be there. Please once refer this photo, okay, or take the screenshot. From tomorrow onwards we are going to see the hands-on experience. Thank you for watching this video. Tomorrow we will meet you again. Good night.